and rock music and heavy metal. So today, folks, I thought I'd take a bit of a laid-back approach on this review for Arcane League of Legends. I decided to watch these first 3 episodes on Netflix today because I saw notifications popping up on YouTube and I thought, okay, nobody's actually told me to go and watch this show. I know about League of Legends. I don't play it online because I'm a single-player dude. I'm a lone wolf. Remember that. And I know League of Legends is like this top-down player. It's very, very popular. Began in 2009, and I know they've done some animated shorts here and there. So when I saw this is like a kind of like a really hard, bloodthirsty PG-13 with fairly adult themes, I thought, okay, I'll give it a watch and see. Now, the poster you see in front of me obviously is a giveaway on how the narrative is going to be looking going forward. I will talk about that eventually in this quick review, but what I will discuss first of all is the art style. I really love animation that looks clean and is detailed. And the animation here is a mix, it's like a hybrid of CGI and a matte oil painted finish. So if you look at the characters' faces, they kind of have that sort of aftertone. It's quite interesting, quite detailed, but like the sort of like the outer layers of the characters feels very CG, but is CG in a really, really good way. The voice acting is superb across the board. I've got to highlight some people like Shorey Agda. I always get her name wrong. Shorey Agdalashu. Oh my gosh. I rehearsed this earlier on and it was right. Shorey Agdashlu. Okay, now she's kind of like the Iranian version of Eartha Kitt. Hello, darlings. You've seen her in things like 24, where she was Dina Araz, and then she was in Mass Effect 3 as Admiral Shara La. I think that's what her name is. I'm so sorry, I haven't played that game for a long time. So she's great. And then also, in addition, you've got Haley Steinfeld as Vi, which is obviously short for Violet. There's a character called Powder, and I've forgotten who plays her, but she's very good as well. Then you have JD Blanc, who plays Venda, and you have Benzo. Really 2 good characters I liked in this series. So I don't know if these actual worlds are based on the worlds of the League of Legends game. So you've got a world of 2 halves. On the top player, or the overground, you've got Piltover, which is very steampunkish. In fact, everything about it is steampunkish anyway. And then on the underground, you've got Zaun, Z-A-U-N, which is where orphaned children live together, and they're watched over by Venda and Benzo. And what I like about that is it's orphaned kids from all walks of life, and it's a massive congregation. The narration doesn't force you into a chokehold and say, this is diversity. You just accept it from the offset and it works well. So I had no issue with that at all. It's really, really good. And I will say as well that in terms of the actual story itself, I mean, it's dark. There is some humor, but not much. It's kind of like, it feels very much like a young adult play that you're watching. It's like kids who sometimes want to even be kids, but then you got the older ones like Vi, who's like the leader of this group of orphan kids that they sneak up onto the over to the overground to Piltover, and they raid mansions for valuables and then take them back and then resource them, I'm assuming for food and the like. And like the Jinx kid in the group is called Powder, with blue hair, and she's really, really cool. But at the same time, because she's such an Achilles heel for the gang when they go on their raids, everything actually is all the fingers of blame point at her. So that kind of takes a very interesting turn later on. Now, if you've seen the 3 episodes already, I will drop a spoiler about something I didn't like about the episodes going forward. So when we get to the 3rd episode, you get Silco. I think he's the brother of Venda. I don't know if it's brother as in a colloquial term or in actually they are blood brothers. I was never quite sure if that was the case. There's a flashback moment, so I think they might have been brothers. But he kind of reminds me of Commodus from Gladiator. He's that kind of slimy, that level of slimy. So, you know, if you've seen Gladiator, you will know what I'm talking about in this instance. And unfortunately, you know, this is a thing that I'm I've heard it recently, and I'm going to say it again on my channel here. But Hollywood, they're removing male masculinity from entertainment. They really are. They do it in this case by killing off the father figures of Benzo and Venda. It's heartbreaking because I really liked those characters. But I guess the narrative of this is, well, you can't have father figures no more, kids. Be gone. That's it. Fend for yourselves now. But, as for Vi, I mean, it's not a case of, well, my dad's dead or my foster dad is dead, I've got to move on. She really grieves for her adopted father. That bit I liked, there's a bit of redemption there. But again, it's something that Hollywood does now. And you know what? When I see like big male father figures, mentors, whatever you want to call them, are killed off, that's why I go and watch things like My Hero Academia, All Might. I like my All Might. He's just he's a badass, righteous dude. And we need more characters like him in animation and in live action movies when you come to think of it. So, the way the third episode concludes, and again, it all ties down to this poster right here. So that's an older version of Powder. Now she's kind of like being trained. Now I hope they show her being trained, because I don't like this thing that Marvel does now where you bring a female character on and suddenly she's just there overpowered and, yoked to the nines, but we don't know how she got there. So I hope that we see the training of Powder, how she becomes this sort of sweet, timid girl who then grows up to be this rival against Vi. That's what they're setting up for the next, I presume it's the next 3 episodes that commence from the 13th of November. Now, remember when I talked about France and how this world of League of Legends kind of looks like that? So when we get the opening episode, it kind of gave me feels of Les Miserables. Then you had a little bit of Ratatouille thrown in much later on. And then, further into my deep cuts, I'm thinking of Asterix the Gaul with his companion Obelisk. If you remember the comic books and the animated films, I kind of got those vibes from this. So whether those were the inspirations for this world, I don't actually know, but it might just be a coincidence. But hey, I thought I'd throw that into this review because you might need to know that. So Arcane League of Legends, which aired today for me, it's there on Netflix now if you want to go and watch it. I will say the soundtrack from Imagine Dragons, they do the opening song, it's pretty good. I didn't know it was them until I heard their familiar beats kick in. But then there are some tracks throughout the episodes I've seen that did not resonate with me, and they kind of echo the soundtracks they use within the game. So I just thought, I wish there was an option to fast forward those. Now, case in point, I've seen original content creators on YouTube playing League of Legends to death and rock music and heavy metal. So do I recommend you watch this? Yeah, you should. If you're a big fan of really detailed animation, good script, and visually stylistic, brutal action. I mean, this thing is brutal. There's very mild curse words being used, which is refreshing. I kind of like that. But on the other hand, if you know that the narration is going to be taking a very predictable turn, which by, you get to the almost the third act of the third episode, you know what's coming. I mean, all the episodes so far, they're around 40 minutes each, so you got an hour and 20 minutes to zip through them. You can easily do it. So I recommend you watch Arcane League of Legends, guys. I don't know how I feel about it until I watch the remaining episodes, but those are my quick thoughts for you. What did you think? Leave a comment below, leave a like, share this video, and I'll see you on my next roundup of reviews, rages, rants, and probably a reaction or two as well.
Like and subscribe, or get your nuts Krogan crushed.